Oh.
Hello.
Hello, friend.
Hello, darling.
Hello. How are you? Happy solstice. It seems like it'll just be the two of us. Oh no, Bridget's here.
Yay. Awesome.
Hello, Bridget. I can't hear your sound.
Now you can.
Oh yes. Hello. I was wondering how many of us were going to show up. It seems like I only really got an RSVP from Bridget and then Leonie joined. So I'm just going to turn off my Telegram. Oh, so welcome. Happy solstice, everybody.
Yes. A very happy solstice.
A very happy solstice. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about my sort of next like phase, you know, what's next and that kind of thing, and trying to douse a little bit, trying to like decode it a bit, you know, see, try and make a bit of sense. Yeah, anyway, well.
Yeah, lots of big changes afoot and lots to rock and roll with, you know. We've got the choice to move in incredibly exciting ways, but it's all kind of daunting. That's what I'm finding. There's a lot of big changes, but there's also some really beautiful things happening. Bridget, I'm so sorry I haven't got my video on so that you can see my face. Okay. I'm in a very dark little room without solar power at the moment, so I can't show you my video.
That's all right. So I guess maybe what we should do is, since we don't really know each other, Bridget, you and I, we've kind of just met in a way. I thought, is your sound on, or Bridget?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, good. I thought maybe we could just sort of share a little bit about ourselves, just so that, you know, if it's the three of us holding the space today, then that's great. I always trust whoever shows up, and I've got a few little things to do today. So maybe we can just do a little bit of a share, just where kind of, if you want to say something about yourself. I don't really know anything about you other than you came through Kate.
Yeah.
And what you do, and I think I don't even know where you are.
So that would be in Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, who am I? That's a big question, right? And what am I doing? That's another one.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a tall order, that question.
Yeah. So it's for me, even it is a little bit of an it's difficult to talk about that, because I am so busy with a lot of things, and at the same time I always feel like I'm at the beginning of something. I am not really very experienced, but what my sense of life is mainly sound. So
Wow.
I've been singing for a very long time, and
You've
for
been
me,
singing, did you say?
yeah,
Oh,
singing.
wow.
Yeah, singing, but I use
Okay.
my voice more like as a whatever comes through, you know, but in not in speaking, but in singing. And sometimes I talk to people, and I say things to people, and I think to myself, okay, I should listen to that, because I can learn something.
Wow, that's amazing, because Leonie also does light codes through her voice.
Huh?
And and I was just about to post a sound journey that a friend of mine did for me, just with her voice, for about 45 minutes. That it's just, I feel like it's such an important time for people to start to explore the use of opening, you know, opening up the gates in a way through sound and through our voice. And
Mhm.
so that's amazing to know that about you. Wow.
It's something very, very powerful. So I also sing in a healing way. So to resonate with someone and then listen to what sounds want to be heard, and which sounds want to kind of travel and make changes or something. It's like I'm singing, and once the sound leaves me, it's having its own intelligence to do whatever is supposed
Wow.
to be. Yeah, I well, it's something like that.
That's beautiful. And do you offer like sound therapy work over the internet, or how do
Yeah,
you do your work?
I can do that. Yeah, I don't really have a channel or anything because I'm not actually professional, and I'm not posting or being commercial. But yeah, I do that over the internet. So
Oh, beautiful. Maybe I must have a session with you, because I've been, it'd be interesting to chat to you about that. And you also do Reiki, right?
yeah, I am a Reiki master. So I give Reiki, and I also can do initiations. So yeah, and I have tried once with someone to do this long distance. So he was in Hawaii and I was here in Belgium, and it works just beautifully. It's really so amazing how energy work knows what is. Yeah, we're just yeah, like it's a material anchor for the energy to be to move around on the earth. So we're just there as the anchor and the channel to make everything work. That's
Wow, that's beautiful.
that's how I feel it.
Mm.
I am also a little bit creative, so I make some jewels, and I make my ocean drums, and I make my drums, and
Hi,
I make.
Diane.
Hi, Diane. I have my flutes that I made, and I play them, and well, all kinds of things. So that's a little bit of the puzzle that I am.
How lovely, how beautiful. So nice to meet you and kind of have you integrate a little bit into our work and us to get to know you as well.
Yes,
Nice.
wonderful. Hello, Bridget. It's lovely to meet you online. Are
Hi.
you living in Belgium?
Yeah, I live in Belgium, so we're in midwinter now.
Were you
Yes,
born
so
in
winter
Belgium?
solstice.
Yes.
You were born there?
Yeah, I was born here. Yeah, and
Okay,
I have been here all my life.
okay. I was born there too, but I haven't spent most of my life there.
Oh,
Wow. And your parents,
Yeah.
are they there, Diane?
My mom's there. My
Your
mom's
mom.
in Belgium. She's in Antwerp.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah, and most of my family are Duffel, St. Katlijne-Waver.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I know the
and
region. My ex-husband is from that part of the country. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Nice.
So, but I've lived in South Africa most of my life and love it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Although I miss it.
we're just doing a little check-in, Diane. We're just kind of introducing ourselves.
Okay.
Also, I just want to check with you guys. I want to record the session and share it with the group, if that's all right with you.
Yes, that's
Is
fine.
that okay?
It's fine
So
for
if
me.
there's
I
anything
don't.
that comes up that's particularly private, then just, we'll just, I mean, yeah, maybe it's not that easy for me to edit because I'm not an editor, but I am looking for someone to help me edit, so that we can feel free and then just cut pieces that are good to share. But let's see if anything comes up that's not shareable, then we'll just deal with that as as we need to or whatever. But it's quite nice, since it takes a bit of energy for us to all come together, and it is a solstice time.
Yes.
Would be nice to intend to share this work a little bit with our new group that's forming. It's part of my my manifestation for next year, you know. The
And
beginning
hello,
of
Leonie. Sorry.
Hello, Diane.
Hello, Leonie. We haven't forgotten you.
That's fine. I know.
How are
everything will be
you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Very
That's
good.
good. Are you in Portugal?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we've got a real global group
Yeah, we
here.
have. And what I'm
Mm.
feeling is synchronistic connections and
Mm.
sameness. And I've
Mm.
got full body goosies now as I say that. Before I came to Portugal, I was traveling from Amsterdam to visit my friends in Portugal, and I was quietly journeying through Belgium, and I went to
Oh, wow.
some really beautiful places and did some energetic work there. And then the next thing, everybody in the youth hostel where I was staying disappeared. And I was the only one there, and I was like, wow, what's going on? And they said, oh, haven't you heard? There's this terrible thing. So that was like 2 days before I got on the train to come to Portugal last year in March when they had the big
Wow,
lockdown.
that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I was in Belgium. I loved it. Beautiful.
Wow.
And really nice to meet you, Bridget, and to see you, Diane. We've done some work together already, so it's lovely.
Yes, yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't got my video on. I can show you what my video looks like just for a laugh.
You're symbolic
We
of the
can
womb
see
of
where you
winter.
are.
In the womb, yeah. I'm in the womb. There we go.
That's Leonie. It's just a
You're
little
sitting in the
light.
dark. Is that your phone?
That's hilarious.
A bit of light.
Sure, it's something shining on my headphones.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
hilarious. That's so perfect, actually.
Very representative of the winter.
Yeah.
Wow. So we
So
got two in
Leonie,
the
do you want
north
to
and
tell
two
us
in
a
the
little bit about yourself, just for Bridget's sake?
Yes, sure, I'll do that. Thank you that I can introduce myself. So as I said, I've been in Portugal now since 4 hours before the big lockdown on the 16th of March last year. I know that I'm here by divine design. My work is I get downloaded with cosmic codes, and then I dance them to life and I imprint them in the earth. More recently, I've started singing the codes into the waters. That's what I was told is my next thing to do. So I got really excited when I heard you speak of your ocean drum, Bridget, because there's another beautiful connection. I'm very connected to the Lyrans. That's my origin. I come from Lyra originally. I have a project called the Royal Lyran Project, which is all about preserving ancient indigenous wisdom and creating the beautiful grid on the earth as it should be. So that's where the codes come in, and geometries, and singing the song lines with memory of being an Aboriginal woman, doing that in Australia many, many lifetimes ago.
Wow,
And
how beautiful.
thank you. And for the rest, I'm a grandmother of a beautiful child, a crystal child in South Africa. And my daughter is also there in Johannesburg, where Amanda is. And I miss them a lot, but thank goodness for technology, I can stay in touch. So I'm honored to be here with the three of you today. We make a beautiful journey today. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for being here. And
Thank you.
Diane, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Just anything that you feel like
Yes.
bringing forward.
Okay, yes. Thank you for that, Amanda. So where to start? My journey of esoteric and alternative exploration started when I was really, really little. I was very spiritual from when I was 4 or 5 years old. I used to walk my brother and my sister to church across the veld. I used to dress them and say, come on, we're going, while the parents were sleeping. And by the age of 10, I was looking after churches and giving service on
Wow.
Sunday.
You
And-
kidding?
No,
You were giving the services.
Wow.
Oh
I
my
was in
God, I
boarding
didn't know
school
that
by
about
then.
you. Wow.
Yeah, I was in boarding school. I used to do the services on a Sunday evening, church services. Yeah, and I ran the Christian group at school. Because that's
Wow.
all I'd been exposed to was Christianity, because that's, what I was exposed to. My parents were Catholic, but not practicing Catholics. In fact, they didn't want to do any spiritual or religious work. So therefore, I had to guide my brother and my sister. And yes, I was a child of 11, went to boarding school. And while everyone else had pictures of their pop stars and their favorite Hollywood film stars, and I don't know what else, I had Jesus and Saint
Wow.
Germain, and those were my pictures on my cupboard.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
yeah, very different as a child. And then when I was about 16, I started asking questions about the Bible, because I'm quite an analytical person. So I started working out Jesus's route, and how did he manage to get from this side to this side of the map in this amount of days without a car? This doesn't make sense. And so asking these kinds of questions in religious instructions in high school in Krugersdorp was not a good
God.
idea.
No. That's
So-
difficult.
Yeah, so I was kicked out of religious instruction and told I was not a very good Christian, and I had to go and sit in the middle of the field by myself every day while they had a religious instruction. So my history teacher found me, and she said, "What are you doing here?" So I shared the story, and she said, "Wonderful, come with me." And she had 2 other students the same, and she introduced us to all
very
sorts of wonderful things. She introduced us to meditation and Zen Buddhism and Judaism, and off we went to all these different things, which was
Oh, how
wonderful. It really
wonderful.
expanded my mind. Yes, that was when I was about 15, 16. And that was the start of the journey, and it's just continued. I've never ceases me how much there is to learn every day. I come across things that is, just more and more. I mean, Leonie has the most magnificent, I hope you'll share it at some stage, Leonie, the most magnificent writing, Valerian writing. I think I'm saying it correctly, Leonie. And, every time we have these Zoom meetings, we have all these wonderful people that have all these amazing skills. And yeah, so there I am, still on my journey of learning. And so I'm very fortunate to have Amanda in my life.
Yeah, likewise. All of us, we it's like happy to have each other, all of
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking to myself,
Yeah.
it's like summer solstice here. And normally in the summer solstice, you reap what you've sown, And I was thinking, well, you are what I've sown, all of you.
Oh, that's great.
You're the
That's
seeds,
great.
you're the what,
Yes, that's right.
you're my
hoping we blossom.
abundance, all of you.
Yay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Beautiful.
So Diane, you want to say anything else? Anything else that
Um,
comes to mind?
So I'm looking forward to today. I understood that when we move into we're moving into the winter solstice now.
We're midsummer, yeah. So we're not quite into
Yeah,
winter
so we're moving
solstice.
we're moving towards the winter. So would we do endings then? Because I was thinking about it today. So in the north, they would do beginnings, and we would do closure or endings. Is that correct? Is that how it would work?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to introduce myself as well a little bit, but then
Yes.
I want to share with you, what I was thinking of in terms of sort of the energies that have been gathering in terms of what work to do. Because it is an opportunity for us to gather our energies a bit and do a piece of work or two, and we'll just see, what comes. There's been a lot of sort of little things that have jumped out, and Yeah, so I'll put that forward, but I'll just quickly give a little bit of a background. Bridget, do you know anything about Constellation's work or anything like that?
I have been in constellations multiple times as representative, and
Okay, great.
my own constellations too. So
Oh,
yeah.
you do them?
No. I don't do them, but as the one who asked the question. So yeah, but not
Oh,
not
okay, like a yeah, client.
And I have done different kinds of constellations, like family constellations, but also systemic constellations and constellations with the voice work.
Beautiful. Wow, I've never done voice work constellations. That
Mm.
would be a new one for me.
Mm.
That would be really interesting. So I'll just give a little bit of my background. So I've also been, you know, hit the road, the spiritual road from the beginning. Very spiritual mom. Kind of, I think I came in prepared for this life. I was ready for it, you know, I chose the 12-12 birth portal, and that's been very much a part of my energy. And I guess today is the 12-21, so it's a little bit of like a balance, you know, like a harmonic. So that's also nice. And I guess a few of us gathered with Rob on my birthday in the evening.
Mm.
So
Yes,
that was the last
lovely.
time was the 12-12, and now we 12-21 again. So that's beautiful. So just trying to see what's important to say. Yeah, I'm having a difficult time with my health at the moment. I'm just going through like a really difficult patch, and it's just like, it's really challenging, but I guess, you know, challenge brings you into all sorts of new places, you know, and often the thing that's next presents itself. So it's like, I've got to really get more serious about detoxing my body and like getting, you know, clearing stuff out, which I'm not that great with. Big clean outs. But it's been tough. I haven't been well enough to even concentrate properly, like can't read, can't think straight. You know, it's like not a lot of fun. But yeah, so I guess part of my intention for the next season is just to really try and like feel better, you know, and maybe I must, you know, consider all the things that are coming up, like some sound journey work and you know, those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm not gonna say too much more than that. My background is, like, as I said, like a lot of spiritual work. My mom was a very spiritual person, so like growing up, I did everything that was available, you know, like Barbara Ann Brennan's Hands of Light and teleporting to Mount Shasta, you know, through whatever portal, and like practicing that, and like all, you know, through my like growing up, you know, was always doing those things. It was amazing. Like every gateway and every activation through the 80s, through the 90s, you know, all the alignments. So yeah, it's interesting. So it's like a, you know, same as all of you, like a mission really oriented life, I guess. And the constellation work I did my master's in psychology and majored in drama therapy and sort of transpersonal psychologies in San Francisco. Just trying to think when it was. It's like a long time ago now, more than 15 years ago. So I think I graduated in 2004 from the California Institute of Integral Studies and worked, it was such an exciting institute with Stan Groff and Rick Tarnas, who was into sort of, you know, all the transpersonal astrology. And there was also very strong sort of plant medicine works, art therapies, female sort of, what could you call it, like oriented psychologies. It was an amazing school to be a part of. So I did
Must
that.
have been incredibly exciting.
Yeah,
Sounds
really exciting.
wonderful.
All the transpersonal stuff, the holotropic breath work, plus, you know, the psychodramas, plus it was just fabulous, you know, all the old hippies that like got completely high and downloaded all their wisdom were our teachers. You know, they were the ones.
Fantastic.
It was like teaching us now, you know, and just fun to be a part of that, really, because, you know, people like who's that other guy, such a big sort of guru in the field, just trying to remember, I can't even remember his name, so he can't be that much of a big guru, but
Terence McKenna.
No, Terence McKenna wasn't so much at the Institute, but there was another guy who Stan Groff used to be like competitive with, because he said, you know, this guy can like tell you which like 100 levels you're on, and you know which degree of enlightenment you're in, and this and that. But he said, you know, when it comes to embodiment, like he doesn't know how to do it. Just trying to think what his name was. So there was like rivalry going on between teachers as well. But yeah, anyway, I'll think of his name. So, and then also my big path is through the Ramtha school. My teacher, Ramtha, so the Ramtha school has really put down a platform for me, and that's been 22 years. And that's an ancient mystery school. And so a lot of what I'm bringing, for example, a real understanding about the knowing field, you know, like how to know and how we, and how to embody knowingness and how that works in the brain and what is the science of that and all that kind of thing I learned through the school. And then also bringing a slightly different model of our embodiment. So for example, like the school doesn't do the rainbow chakras. So we have a different system. It's a little bit closer to like the Tibetan work, which is more, it's called the seals, the 7 seals. And those 7 seals are linked to the light spectrum, not just the visible light spectrum, which is the rainbow, but the entire spectrum. So, you know, where if you look at the entire light spectrum, you'd see Hertzian, which is like visible, not visible, physical, the physical vibration, null universe, that's the frequency of the physical. So that would be our base chakra would be Hertzian, and it's actually normally looked at as brown, not red. And then the next up would be infrared. That would be the infrared light band, and that would be the second chakra up, and then visible light, the third, and then to ultraviolet blue, which is the heart. So, you know, the ultraviolet blue spectrum that we are taught is actually pre-visible light. And you go from there, ultraviolet blue, gold, your throat. Trying to think of the frequency. So they call the frequency of ultraviolet blue bridge consciousness. And it's, I can't really remember the frequency bandwidth of ultraviolet blue right now, but it's actually an unpolarized light spectrum. In other words, so I'll finish here. So it's gold at the throat, which is the X-ray. And then I think it's gamma, which is pink, which is by the pineal. And then the pituitary is like an infinite unknown. It's kind of like a pearl luminescent, sort of silvery into infinity kind of color. And then the 0 point energy, which is like the God point at the top. And so we are taught that from the void we manifest, or God manifests itself to a 0 point, and then down through these levels of frequency into physicality. And at the blue, which is the heart, that's the last plane before you hit visible light, which is the beginning of the split and the swing. And that's the beginning of materiality and sort of duality and, things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need it for experience. But as we sort of leave a chapter behind, the 3D chapter, we kind of have to do a whole lot of dissolving of the last set of eons of experience that we've already had, in duality. So now we're coming back up in a way, back up the ladder, Jacob's ladder, I suppose, in a sort of a way. I don't actually even know what Jacob's ladder is, so it might not be the right metaphor. So that's where the ultraviolet blue group fits in a little bit. And also for me, Rob Mercury and I connected through Gene Decode. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my God, we have to work with this guy straight away. He's part of us, he's in our family.
Great.
Yeah,
he's really
so I got
great.
hold of him, watched all of his videos, and just felt like he's, we're all together in this one big mission. And he's got this group called the Ultraviolets, that are actually a group of beings that you could say, please, Rob, if he doesn't listen to this video, correct me if I'm wrong, but I might be wrong. But it's a group of beings that are sort of, you could call them extraterrestrial, so not humans really, that are actually fully embodied ultraviolet blue beings. And they are aligned to the mission on Earth to help the Earth and the people here free themselves from the prison, and make the bridge, create the bridge back up into the higher levels, the 5D and up. And they are connected to the Galactic Center. And Galactic Central, as he calls it, and he kind of gets instructions from them and help. And so I also felt quite aligned and quite excited to build this group that would bridge, create this bridge back into 5D and beyond, and for others as well. And also the nice thing about the ultraviolet blue, for one, it's about perfect health, because you have this perfect blueprint that sits in our ultraviolet blue field. So we actually have an ultraviolet blue body. I've actually seen it. I've actually experienced it. Our bodies are inside of us like this way. So every body, this body is the slowest, because this is the frequency of the Hertzian body. And then just inside of that is a shorter wavelength one, and then shorter and shorter to go into the center, which is our God body, you could call it. They're all God bodies, but just different frequency bands, but the central core within us, the 0 point, is right in the center. And
I call them babushka light bodies.
Yes, well, that's a nice, interesting. Why babushka?
Because those are those Russian dolls.
Oh yeah,
There's
exactly.
one inside the other one. Yeah,
one inside the other, like that. Yeah.
In Russian, it means grandmother.
Grandmother.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And the other reason why I like the ultraviolet blue frequency is because, in my understanding of how to work with it, it dissolves the past. So when you're in the ultraviolet blue realm, you're really in innovation. You're in a new space. It's not the known. It's like an opening for something new to happen. And that's really exciting. You know, it's like I keep wanting to go back to what I know, but it's just not letting me. You know, it's not letting me. I'm being forced into new things. It's quite uncomfortable sometimes. You know, good, but uncomfortable, because of course my ego rides on what I know and what I'm good at and all those things, you know. So it's a great journey of allowing and trusting. So that's enough, I guess, of an intro. The constellations work. So I studied drama therapy in the States and psychodrama and various embodiments. And then when I came back here, there was nothing except family constellations. There was no community, because I was like one of the first people that went over seas to bring back the drama therapy training. So the family constellations, because it's indigenous to South Africa. I don't know if you know that, Bridget. Did you know that?
I'm sorry, I have to. I'm just 1 second out of here because my daughter is calling, and I have to. I'm just
sure.
Just 1 second. I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. Well, I guess you guys know that, hey? Because I've said that.
Yes.
You know that, hey,
Yeah.
Diane? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So through bird telling her.
Sorry. What was the question?
No, I was just going to say, you know, that the constellations work is indigenous to South Africa.
Yes, I know that that's the origin of the family constellations from Bert Hellinger. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So he came here and actually studied, trained with the Zulus, with the Sangomas. So that's quite exciting for me, you know, that it's got an African traditional wisdom training. And then it can also be merged with all of the European psychologies, you know, the phenomenology and all of the sciences and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed putting that all together. How, you know, how to work with fields and information and consciousness and all of that.
It also relates a lot to certain shamanic practices with the soul retrieval parts and things like that. So yeah, it's really very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just thinking, you know, in terms of like the synchronicity of the fact that you yourself and Leonie both do sound work. Mm-hmm. You know, what part sound is going to be playing in our journey going forward. I mean, I guess it's all frequency work, isn't it? Yeah. So taking responsibility like for our greater capacities.
That's a big one.
Yeah. That is a big one. So what I thought is we could kind of have a little discussion about what we'd like to achieve now in this little bit of time that we've got together. I'll tell you what I've put down as some possibilities. Like some of the things that have been coming up for me are the dragons. So the dragon energies are presenting themselves everywhere at the moment. Like I had a lunch, connecting consciousness lunch the other day, and this woman just arrived and she was talking about, you know, Saint Germain, the dragons, the Sophia codes, and, you know, the revaluation of the gold, and, you know, all together. So I just thought, like, wow, they've got to be all related, right?
Absolutely.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely are. Yes.
Yeah. They are.
So that plus the sound and the frequency work seems to be what we can inquire into and do a little bit of work on today. yeah, I'll tell you what my idea is, but maybe you guys can put some things in or some requests as well. If there's anything in particular you've got in mind.
I don't really have anything specific, but dragons, lions, and sound really do it for me, I must be honest. I'm just looking for, I'm not sure if I even shared it in the group, the Nazarene translation of the prayer to our Father. And I'm sure everyone here will be able to resonate with that. And it speaks very much to the realms of sound, light, and vibration.
Oh,
and you know, the
beautiful.
translation, yeah, it's really beautiful. I've got it somewhere, and maybe at the end I'll read it for us. But that was clearly lost in the typical King James translation, because
Okay.
it does not refer to the realms of sound, light, and vibration, but that is what the original Aramaic is presenting. If you like, I can look for it before we start and say it before we start. How does that feel for everybody?
That's a good idea, I think.
Yeah, that sounds great. But before you look, let's just finish. Let's just finish pooling all the ideas, and then
The
we
ideas,
can,
yes.
Then yeah. Okay, great. So there's the Nazarenes. What did you call it? Scroll.
It's
Prayer.
the Lord's Prayer.
Okay.
The prayer to our Father, but translated by the Nazarenes from the original Aramaic. And it's so beautiful because it addresses the true wisdom and the power that is within. Yeah, it's really lovely.
That's beautiful. And
yes,
other things, sorry, Diana. Okay.
As Leonie was talking, it's just a quick point, Amanda. I saw gold, lots of gold. So yeah, so the fact that you've raised gold, it ties in, it ties together. Yeah,
beautiful.
There's definitely a golden year coming in next year. Lots of stuff around gold.
Awesome.
Okay, so Diane, is there anything in particular that you're interested in sort of inquiring into, or where are you at with all of your inquiries? And
boy, I've got lots, you know me, Amanda. I've got lists.
You're like a quantum computer on your own. It's called Diane.
But I think for this session, perhaps because I feel that we're a small group, but I think quite a strong group, if you understand. So, and I have a question for myself personally for next year. So one of the things that was suggested through Gene Decode was that I do some decoding and share that publicly. So I've been working a bit on how that would look and maybe the areas that I should be focusing on. So I would like to ask each of you, I don't know, Amanda, if you could incorporate it in some way, but if something comes up, because I've got a few different areas, but if something specifically comes up that I should be focusing on, especially initially to help people. You know, people are going through a lot of stress, they're anxious, they're not quite sure where we're headed, or maybe they just need information. It could be adults, it could be children. So perhaps if anyone comes up with any form of guidance, that would be appreciated. And I'm happy to go along with all your areas because my list, as I said, is very long.
We can also do a whole constellation for you at some point around that, like unpacking your thing. But we might not be able to get to it today, but I'm just saying we can definitely do that. It would be wonderful to help you unpack that.
Yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Be amazing because Leonie's also got a big project.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
she
don't
does.
remind
Helping
me.
her
Yes, she
unpack
does.
that as well is like,
Yes.
wow.
Yes,
That would
I've
be
seen a lot of
amazing.
that already, Leonie. I've seen a lot of your work already.
Thank
So,
you,
mm,
Diane.
and it's
I've,
going to
you
go
know,
well. It's
I've
going to go
been
well.
not in any way not paying attention to it, but I keep very much in the wings, you know, I'm undercover kind of thing. And it's becoming more and more clear to me that I can't stay undercover anymore. So
Mm,
I need to get it out there. So yeah, beautiful.
You'll
Thank
only ever be
you.
invisible. You'll only ever be visible to those who can see what you're doing anyway. So
Yes. Yeah.
mm,
Thank you. That is true.
yeah.
mm.
Okay, Bridget, do you want to bring anything forward or anything interesting you want to?
Totally resonate with what's been brought forward till now, because well, I am at a point in my life also where I do feel I really need to step forward, and I have to trust my abilities, but
Mhm.
I have been held back all my life, and it just kind of doesn't get there. It doesn't get there, and I have the image in my head of now, right now, of the world, of the earth, with the winter solstice and the summer solstice, and the tension between the two, and finding somewhere a place in there where the movement can come forth, between the light and the dark, where both are kind of nurturing the movement, where there is no battle, where there is no contradiction, and that is very important at the moment. And it has also to do with death and life. I have this mission in life, apparently, to sing the souls that are stuck here, to sing them.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know that for such a long time. I have been fighting that notion for years and years, that knowledge. But I have been in the sound work and with other work, I have been confronted with the past and with battlefields and a lot of dead people, and like always getting drawn into that. Now I can bring them to the light, sing them home, okay, but there is this black gold in death, but there is also the light gold in life and coming forth, and I have to step into that light gold for me, to be able to do something, to really do something with all that, to be visible with all that. So that's where I am right now, and I don't know how to put it into a question, but I'm just putting it out there.
Did you say you have
No,
to step into the gold? Is that what you said?
cold night.
It's
The
like there is
gold.
the black gold with the
Okay.
past, and all the old knowledge with the dead people, and also the dead societies, everything that is like on the downside, and the gold is on, like the two solstices. It's like it's both at the same time, but I have to get into the golden half, and like
Wow.
like
Yes.
staying connected with the black gold to get into that, what I need to do here.
Okay. Awesome.
Very,
We're up
very
for
Transmute,
it.
awesome.
We'll help.
transmutation.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
things, cheese.
Thank you.
But
What were you saying, Diane?
sorry.
It's like a form of transmutation, is what I'm hearing. You're
Mm.
transmuting.
Going on
Yeah.
too. So it's something very big. It's bigger than me.
It's very big. It's huge. Yeah, the whole cosmos is busy doing it, and
Yeah.
you know, um,
And can I say one more thing?
yeah.
So with the dragons and things like that, that also resonates, because it was the day before yesterday. Yeah. The day before yesterday, we did a ceremony at a well with different waters from different places in the world, from sources and waterfalls that we activated, and we put it into a well. We were connected with the Kogi Indians in the Sierra Nevada in Colombia, and we were connected with the New Zealand people, with the Maori.
Wow.
From the Maori people, he told me that in their culture, you have the fire dragons and the water dragons, and they work together, and they have a network all around the globe, and they travel through the waterways underneath the earth, but they also travel in the tunnels of the volcanoes. And the Maya have the same concept, and the Celts have the same concept. So the dragons have been very present in my personal life lately too, because I have met the dragon that swims under my boat. So yeah, the dragons are there very prominently too. They are waking, they are awakening, they are waiting for us. They are waiting for us.
Mm.
So yeah, please invite in the dragons.
Yeah, I'd like to just say there's a couple of things that I'd like to just share, just in terms of just putting these energies into the pot, the cauldron, the alchemical cauldron that we're making. And the one is just the understanding of the different levels of alchemy and the link to the dragons, because I don't know where to start the story. It's such a big story, but are you all familiar with the Emerald Tablet and kind of personal alchemy and the 7 different levels? Are you guys aware of that? No?
Yep.
So basically, Bridget, what alchemy, what I understand is that so materialization flows from the 0 point down through these levels into physicality. And then whatever's in the physicality is kind of like a little bit like the metals that the alchemists refer to. And the metals are kind of like the experience of the current belief systems, or you could say the past as well. And when the alchemist works with metals, there's the path, the outer path and the inner path. So the outer path is, they put metals into the fire and they melt the metals, and it goes through 7 levels of transmutation until they get to that high spin gold, which is that transcendental state. But there's also 7 levels that are linked to our personal alchemy, our inner alchemy, where we take our own personal metals, which is our limitations, our limited thoughts and ideas, and our untransmuted aspects of ourself, and we kind of put it into this cauldron, this alchemical fire, and we melt that down, and then it goes from calcination, which is the first phase, which is the melting phase, which is a fire phase, into like a liquid phase, dissolution, a dissolving, and then it goes into air, which is sort of like a sorting phase, and then it goes that way up, and then at air it goes to an earth phase, which is a conjunction phase, which is where the heavens start to come down to meet the earth's process. So it goes like that. So the conjunction is the earthing part where you join spirit and matter. So spirit and matter are in a marriage, a conjunction there at the earth phase. And then it goes through sort of 3 or 4 more levels, which I'm not going to talk about now, but it's interesting that metaphor, because the blackening phase, which is at the bottom, which is actually like a kind of death of the old, that then the dissolution phase, which is the water, and the air, and then the earth, is in a way what we going through globally at the moment as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the earth
Yeah.
is going through a death. It's been put into this alchemical cauldron of change through the sun and through the awakening of our consciousness. So, you know, through a lot of people that have come that are bringing a higher vibration in, through all the different beings that are here to support the galactic teams. You know, this intention is this, that the old earth, that the prison planet, the old self is going to be dying, and it's going to be, you know, going through, they even call it, the one is, they call it the blackening, and they also call it the hell realm, while that death is taking place. And then the waters come, which is part of the birthing. And it's interesting, you know, that the planet's going to be going through various phases with water and flooding and this and that. You know, it's actually a dissolution, washing, and then sorting, and then the new earth is busy being born through all of us, you know, our dreams and our intentions and all of that. So that's coming from, you could say, from the God aspect down to meet the new earth, the fifth dimensional earth. And the way that I've understood that link to the dragons is that I had a really interesting experience a long time ago, which was like a Kundalini awakening, except I didn't experience snakes. I experienced dragons turning at the base, at my base. You know, they turned after a very deep experience, and sort of headed back home, like up to back to the 0 point energy field and into sort of like a unified field space. But that was my understanding of what a dragon is. A dragon is actually holding the codes of infinity, and they have come all the way down to the base, and they hold the journey home as well. So that's an interesting like link to everything. Like, why are so many dragons right now in the skies and you know, underground?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So the earth is also going through a Kundalini awakening.
The dragon is also linked to the singing.
Oh, say more about that. Say more about that.
Something that I experienced in a journey in Colombia. That when I open up and when I take my place, the dragon comes and opens up, and when the sound comes, the dragon flies. And the sound is from the universe. It's something that cracks open, and there is a doorway from the universe to us, and the sound comes in, and it explodes out of whoever is responsive to.
So they're like the ancient keepers of some of the light and sound, original light and sound codes. And they also linked into our deeper mind. So like deep delta and, you know, some of the deepest states of existence.
They also reside in the earth and in,
May I share very briefly?
Yes, please.
About my own personal dragon experience.
Yeah, of course.
So I completed a course with Araya, who does the Dragon Within program, the Eye of the Dragon. And that was after the dragons first appeared to me in 2010 when I was in Portugal, the first time I came here. And I was resisting them. You know, I would see them in the sky and say, no, it's not dragons. I wasn't interested. And then in 2018, they like really grabbed my attention and I couldn't deny it, and was led to Araya. And in that program, there's the beautiful teaching of how the dragons have been holding the templates of the earth since it came into form. So the 12 dragons of Mu hold the templates of our physical earth. And now we have been in a process in the last year or year and a half, I can't remember how long it is, where they are handing over the baton of that to the gold-winged lions. And that will then raise the, you know, bring the whole earth up into that higher golden frequency as well. And I love what you said, Bridget, about the dragons bringing the song in as well, because that was very much how it worked for me, because I am a dragon lyran hybrid. I'm a fully merged hybrid of the two. And with the singing that I've been doing of my heart song and the codes and everything, that is what led me to the whales in the mountains of Portugal where I was, and singing my song to them and then singing it back to me, as well as my own personal and the Earth's new Akashic Records song, the new song for the Earth. So yeah, definitely all connected. It's really beautiful to experience and to witness it.
Amazing. My nickname is Moo, and I'm on the 12th. So it's always
that's incredible.
link.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Must
You
have
can't
been
make this stuff up, eh?
No, something that I must have given to myself to try and, you know, hold on to some memories of kind of my past or something.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so wow, so there's a lot going on, and we're not going to try and do everything, but just plant some seeds and touch on some things today.
I found the prayer.
Okay,
if you'd like me to.
Wonderful. I wondered if you would be prepared to show us your video instead of just your picture, even if it's dark, because it's actually quite nice to see you in the dark.
See me in the dark?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put my video on. Maybe I'll go closer to the window.
That's much better.
There we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to sit here at the window. Awesome.
Yes. Okay, cool. Yay.
All right, shall I read?
Yes, read it to us.
Prayer to our Father.
Absolutely.
Okay. From my heart to yours. O thou from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realms of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiest. Your heavenly domain approaches. Let your will come true in the universe, all that vibrates, just as on earth that is material and dense. Give us wisdom, understanding, assistance for our daily need. Detach the fetters of faults that bind us, just as we let go the guilt of others. Let us not be lost in superficial things, materialism, or common temptations, but let us be freed from that which keeps us off from our true purpose. From you comes the all-working will, the lively strength to act, the song that beautifies all and renews itself from age to age. Sealed in trust, faith, and truth, I confirm with my entire being. So be it, so it is, it is done. Amen.
Amen. What a beautiful prayer. My goodness,
Isn't
that
it?
is exquisite.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would be
really
prepared to share that with our group.
Yes, of course.
It would be amazing. It's most exquisite. Wow.
Great.
So I just have to kind of decide. I don't want to like try and make the decision too big. I mean, one of the things that I was really interested in constellating is what's happening with the gold, and the redistribution of the gold, and where that's at in terms of sort of, we did a Saint Germain constellation a little while ago, and yeah, so I'd be quite interested to get out some information about that. Just trying to see if there's something else that's more important. I mean, there's obviously the dragons and the light codes, but I'm not so sure. I mean, it's huge that, that's like a project for next year, through the year, that kind of thing, Has anybody got a feeling about, anything that is like burning to come forward?
So what I'm picking up, transmutation. So the gold it's moving and it's going to create change. And then Bridget also has the transmutation element in her work, which many of us actually do. Most of us actually do same kind of work. It's a lot of transmutation type work. So that word seems to come up a bit. So maybe we can incorporate gold transmutation and then add another piece into the transmutation, whatever you want to choose. In other words, we've got the gold that's transmuting and something else is transmuting. It could be souls, the souls transmuting. It could be, which is also Bridget's work. I don't know, Leonie, how strong that is with yours. And then Bridget and Leonie's work is actually quite closely linked. Bridget is transmuting, and she's also taking the information from the people, from the souls that have passed, which is going to be Leonie's work to document the history. So there's a lot of transmutation in this group. So we've got so maybe you want to pick a second one that we look at transmuting what we would like to do this time around. Maybe we can do something else next time around. That's a suggestion.
So what I'd like to do, I'd like to just give a bit of space for this, and even if we do something, we allow it to move, I just do want to check in with the energy of the Saint Germain and the gold, and where it's at, and just check in with that project, you could say. Yeah, I do feel a need for that, because in a way it's going to the projects that are going to be transmuting, all the transmutational work, which is our genetics, our self-identity, the earth, the whole structure of society, everything. So I just like to give sort of the opportunity to, like, Saint Germain and just want to see if there's something that they have to say to us, like a bit of a message. And I might also want to hear from the ultraviolets group that's in the Galactic Center, the Galactic Central, just see if there's anything, because the work where the gold and the blue, where the gold meets the blue, is kind of like where we at. So the ultraviolets and the gold and transmutation and alchemy of the earth all together. So that would be my first request, if we can start there and then just see where it goes.
There's a lot of transmutation there already, that we've got in that.
Oh, yay! I can do that. I'm so happy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all a roll, and just we'll see what we can bring in. Okay, so I don't, unless you want to, I don't feel huge need to do like a deep meditation and stuff like that. We can just go straight in because we've kind of already laid down quite a strong foundation. So would anyone like to be Saint Germain? Okay, that's fine. And you can rotate as well. And sometimes two people can be one role if you feel very drawn to it. Okay, so Bridget, you can hold Saint Germain's energy for a bit. And then, so it's Saint Germain and the gold. And then I want the ultraviolets.
I'll do the ultraviolets.
Okay. And why don't we just do the dragons as well?
Yes.
So Leonie, would you mind being the dragons that are around the skies?
I can hardly mind that.
So yeah, I'll take us into a little bit of a sort of enrollment meditation for now that we've got our roles. And as we go in, we can see if there's messages. It's a slightly different thing, you know, because we're not in a space. It's a different way of constellating, but it's like a mix of constellations and like a remote view. But let's just see what comes forward and work with the material that comes forward. Okay.
You want us to just talk when it comes up, or do you want us to make notes? Or? No,
you can. I'll facilitate it, but let me start. Let me just start with anchoring us in. So just closing your eyes for a minute. Just feeling your energy at your heart, your soul, the ball of light that we are. And just creating a safe space, inviting some beautiful galactic protection for our journey and our downloads. And also the perfect harmonies to come through, the message that needs to come through. For the alignments between the north and the south. So we're just going to drop our ball of light into the earth through our body. Just dropping down into the center of the earth. Just finding an anchor there. And while we're there, there might be information for us to collect. Light codes, dragons. We work only with those that are for the highest good of all life everywhere. So just anchoring our energy into the earth center, allowing the transmutation of the earth's center. to re-encode us. And just making our way back up through our bodies and out into, through the top of our heads, into galactic central energies. And seeing if we can present our energies to the ultraviolets group that Rob speaks about. We haven't really met them yet, but just see if that feels appropriate, if we can introduce ourselves, make a bridge. And then just expanding our energy out to where the dragons are, the ones that are here to help us with our ascension process, the Earth's process of ascension. And just gently, quietly coming back down into your body. And feeling your heart. Feeling your energy on the ground. And seeing us in a big, big bubble, a golden sphere, as we bring the energies in of this solstice. So just open your eyes if you can, just looking down. So I'm just going to move my computer because my battery is down, but just stay in the energy. I don't want to disrupt it. I'm just going to move to where I can plug in my computer. So it's very expansive, very big energies that we've chosen to work with. And if it gets too much, you can just step out of it. So just checking in, is there anything that's coming through that you'd like to share? Any information you want to put forward? Yeah, go, Diane.
Okay, so first of all, the ultraviolet team would like to say hello, and they're really excited that we are here today and that we mentioned them and introduced ourselves to them. In fact, before we even introduced ourselves to them, they were dancing and so excited they couldn't hold their energy. They were very excited. They said they're working with transmutation or transformation and transmutation. And through Rob, in fact, they have been guiding him to teach humanity how to look at things differently, so that when we ascend, we're already comfortable with what he's teaching humanity. And so the same goes for all of us, Amanda, yourself, and Bridget and Leonie in your areas of expertise. And for me, what I picked up was similar to Rob, to teach humanity that we're bigger than just the physical, and many other bits, but I won't go into all the detail. So just to say that that is their purpose, in fact, is transmutation and transformation. And that's really what they're pushing for us to teach mankind as we move forward.
Okay, beautiful. Well, that's amazing. And we'll get more information as we go around. We'll come back round and do another round of that, because I'm sure that'll be an ongoing piece of work, stream of work. So thank you for that. And Bridget, what are you picking up? What are you getting?
For me, it's mainly images. I don't get too many words. Like in the center of the earth, that a very, very, very big welcome, a warmness, a homeliness, and a lot of codes were like given to the flames and surrounding me, and I couldn't read them, but they were there around me, informing my body and informing all my bodies. And then when we went up to the ultraviolet ones, it was they were like kind of ultraviolet smoke like quality, like stroking and very tender, very, very also this welcoming, this joy that was, and it was mainly on my left side that they made themselves felt. And then when you introduced the dragon, it was like just coming into my crown and into my body, and it took me up in the sky, and it made me feel its freedom and its power and its force, and yeah, just how it is to really be like a dragon in your life, and take your place. And there is a lot of things going on in my body, like eagerness, anxiety, a lot of motion going on inside. I don't know where it is going, but I'm just noticing and accepting and yeah, inviting it to see.
Okay, beautiful. And did you get anything in particular around Saint Germain? I know I didn't really guide you there.
No. Well, yeah, it is Saint Germain. For me, felt linked to all the elements, but it felt most at home with the ultraviolet ones, and it is like a flame that is as if I am a flame myself. My body is right in the middle of that flame, but with the same quality of the ultraviolet ones, but then with the purple light. It's very, very enfolding. It's like, yeah, like and outgoing at the same time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I could actually see that for a minute. It like got the codes, got the visual. That's beautiful. So we'll come back around to you as well. I just want to hear Leonie.
My third name is Germain.
That's amazing.
Yes, that's not amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Wow. Wow.
Leonie, what are you
So-
getting from the dragons?
I actually received from the dragons when we were still chatting in the beginning, and when you said that you want to look at what this increase is of dragons in the clouds and in the skies, and I clearly heard them saying, just tell everybody we're on parade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like feels to me like a huge gathering of all of them, to not all of them, but you know what I mean, a lot of them to be in the skies to present so that they can catch people's eyes and help them to open up to that. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. I'd really like to show you guys some of my dragon clouds before we close today, just because they've been showing themselves like that, and different people catching the same dragon in a different place with the same face, different, you can tell there's, you know, the different ones. So
they're very much showing off.
Okay, amazing. So I want to just check in a little bit further with the Saint Germain energies with the gold. So Bridget, if you can just continue to hold the role of Saint Germain. So and we can all ask the questions. My question is around the timing of this redistribution of money, specifically to the people of on the earth, the gold essentially coming back to the people. Is there any information coming through that you can pick up on, Bridget, through Saint Germain energies around that timing?
It's like it's going to be a process. It's first thing that comes up, it's a long time. Like it's going to be a process of about 100 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to trust what I get right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's like it's going to be all local projects that are going to find each other and it's just going to make the existing system completely superfluous. I don't know what it's going to look like.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So where is Saint Germain, like at the moment? So I'm asking him if he can reveal his whereabouts. Where is he?
All I get is I'm in the fire.
Like an eternal flame.
Old fire. An internal flame, but also in the fire. Yeah. If you want to contact, look into the fire. Oh.
So is he in an embodiment? I know he's an immortal. I know Saint Germain has had many different incarnations. Maybe just different names, same incarnation. Just interested in what you can get about that.
I don't get body feeling.
No body feeling. So I mean, not an actual physical embodiment at the moment.
No.
And he is the guardian of this redistribution of the gold. Isn't that his project?
Mm.
Amanda, I've had something drop in. May I share?
Okay, yes, yeah, sure.
So what I was hearing when we inquire as to the gold, I was told that it is an alchemical process, not only for the redistribution of physical wealth, but it is an alchemical process within each individual for their denser vibration to be transmuted into the gold frequency.
Beautiful.
The moment you asked about the gold, I was trying to feel into that, and it is not like I am embodied, but I am in everyone. It's like I felt kind of split up. I am in everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Diane, anything that you're picking up on? Or?
Yes, right at the beginning, when you asked the question, I saw almost like a painting being painted. You know, it takes time and patience, and it changes. The colors change as you move through painting the painting, and it becomes clear as you paint more. The picture becomes more clear. Although this particular picture was more focused on gold with a little bit of color here and there. There wasn't specifically a picture as such. There wasn't a thing or so that was the one when you asked about the time and how it looks. And so I think painting a painting takes quite a bit of time usually, an oil painting. So maybe we can think of it that way. When you asked about Saint Germain, I actually saw a person. It's a man, and so I see him embodied, but it doesn't mean that he's embodied. But I see him as a human, and he's watching. He's sitting and he's watching at the moment. That's what I saw. He's been sitting to the right of me for quite a while. So he's just observing and watching, and it's a big task. That's and I think he's kind of gathering himself to get going with it. That's sort of what I was picking up. So maybe if he's on another plane, and maybe he's needing to embody himself at certain times, maybe for the projects, or at certain places. It could be. But he's a man. It's a man, and he's I would say in his 60s at the moment. That's how he's embodied right now. That's what I picked up. And I also picked up that it's a process. So it's going to take some time. And it's almost like gold nuggets got dropped from the sky on this timeline. You know, okay, here's a bit, okay, let's give a bit more. That's kind of how I saw it. I guess a bit like Bridget saw it. You know, sort of over time, it gets distributed, and I would agree with the fact that it's going to certainly change people. It'll bring out the best in people, and it'll bring out the worst in people. So I think it's going to be a big learning experience, and it'll also be a challenge. And the challenge, I think, is also to see who does eventually move to the 5D. Because just because you're spiritual, once money comes, people change, in my experience. People tend to, their characteristics, behavior, intent, often changes. So it'll be, people will need to really hold steady and make sure that they're following the right path when the gold comes. That's a big challenge for humankind through the transformation process.
Mm. Yeah, that flame, it's almost like only when we get sort of through the layers of the old and into the new, you know, where that flame has, where the alchemy, the alchemical process has burnt away enough of the old, and we're kind of enough into the grid of the new, then where the blueprint of the new and the gold, they can come together. That's sort of what I'm seeing at the moment. So we're still in the fire, you know, sitting in this fire, cooking with the lid on. It's hot.
And the pressure cooker.
A pressure cooker. Ooh.
It is hot, you know.
Very hot, this transmutation process. And I think, you know, personally, it's like for me, whenever I start looking outside for the answer, it's clearly not there, you know, so then that has to burn off as well, come back inside. And that is the mastery journey, that transmutation, where it's our codes, our consciousness, and our you know, awakened self that has to come in. That's how we will embody this change. And then once we've kind of attained enough of that, we'll be able to hold the frequencies for the new, to come in. Okay, so anything else that's important for that? We can shift roles. I just want to check in with the field in general. Is anything else, information that's important to come forward on this day, this particular day? How to, any other symbologies or advice?
What I could just feel that is, I felt this immense heat when Diane was talking, as if I was in the flames, and it feels like burning up inside is a necessity to solidify the Saint Germain energy.
Okay,
I
yeah.
felt really solidifying with the burning.
Yeah, which is really the alchemy process of putting ourselves into the fire, right? And allowing the old concepts of who we are, the limited self, to melt and burn away and birth these new ideas, the new blueprint. Let that come through. And that's tied to the message from the ultraviolets representing, I guess, ultraviolet blue realm, just to really get beyond our experience of ourselves as a body and expand, you know, like have more and more experiences of ourselves as a consciousness or as a being.
And that's what Bridget was asking for advice right at the beginning. I think it's part of the advice, Bridget, because the reason that you haven't moved on to do the things that you need to do is because they're not clear in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to get clarity. Once you've got clarity, you'll be able to do what it is you need to do. It's to get the clarity.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps today you may, you know, we may be able to help with that. Yeah.
Leonie, anything else that you feel is in the field that needs to be spoken or brought in or mentioned or?
No, I don't have anything specific other to what I've already shared.
Okay, Diane, anything else?
Yes, I'd like to raise something about the dragons. So this has popped up a few times in my mind, so I thought I must share it.
Yeah.
I had a book which I gave away, unfortunately, but it was about the ego state and the body and behaviors and how different dragons live within us, and we have to conquer the dragons. So with all the dragons coming up in conversation and on our UV channel and so forth, I was wondering, perhaps we also need to be looking at the dragons within ourselves and conquer those dragons so that we can move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and whatever that means, because I think one of the things that I felt in the sort of going into the Earth center, there was a lot of that coding that Bridget mentioned. There's like dense coding available for us in the center of the Earth. It's just this blinding, you know, I don't even have words for it, but this blinding, crystalline, coded core that's pouring its energy into the earth all the time. And it's very intense to be there. But as I went down, there were a lot of dragons that kind of presented themselves. I saw very clear faces, and then I got quite scared. And then I was like, you know, so there's a message around conquering fear in the riding of the dragons, riding our own, learning to ride our own dragon, which is really, you know, allowing our energy to move through us, through the physicality, through what we identify ourselves to be, and then open us up again to who we really are, which is like a kind of infinity.
He's connected to that dragon. It's a bit like that movie Avatar. You know, if you remember, she got on the dragon very comfortably and she had something to attach herself to the dragon. And he was, oh, dragon, oh my goodness. It took him a while to be able to get on and ride and feel comfortable to fly and do everything with the dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, no, I loved it. And also the expansion is very big. So the small self can get scared, you know, in that process. So it's like we need to do it incrementally, but we also need to do it. And we need to put ourselves into the fire of the transmutation process, and allow that to sort of take us through that alchemical process of melting, dissolving, and reforming.
For me, it feels like, and that makes it lighter for me, because with conquering, I felt like put down completely, but it is outgrowing. It's more like outgrowing, growing into the new. It's and really nurturing that growth, instead of fighting something or trying to get rid of something. It's there to serve you, to show you this is where you are, and you can outgrow it. And sometimes you wobble like a child and you fall down and you step up again, but you outgrow that, the old things, or and you grow into the bigger picture.
That's lovely,
yeah.
I think an experience with this process, and especially with the dragons, is for each of us to be able to step into accepting our greatness and our power. And a lot of people are scared to do that because we think with it comes this huge responsibility, or this, you know, this pressure on you to be something. But if it's your true essence that is being revealed to you, then there is nothing to fear, and you step into who you truly be. And in doing that, that is where you bring your most amazing gift to the world.
Yeah, the other aspect of this I'm thinking of is, you know, if we can do the work with our deeper self, so to learn to drop, because through the like deep meditations or deep longer term remote views, or say like a hypnotherapy session or something like that, where you go quite deep down into the subconscious mind and you can access that unified field of consciousness, that's really where we can know and ask for answers and be, that's kind of like our dragon field, you could call it. You know, and the more we work with that knowing, the ability to know, reminds me of Rob Mercury's stuff around, you know, it's like, how do you get out of the game that's being played here, you know, which is like you know, not know, and to move back to actually knowing, our knowingness. That's a step closer to sort of getting ourselves back to the game that we want to be playing, not somebody else's game.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do hypnotherapy, do deep journeys, deep meditations, deep experiences of yourself, whatever it is.
And face it. Be courageous and face whatever it is that comes up, because it's part of us, you know. It's not outside of us.
Dragon feels like the Kundalini, but incredibly powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to show you guys, before we kind of think about closing, I'm going to try and pull up a couple of these dragon pics that I found. I'm going to see if I can find them. Just see. Let me just see if I can find them. I've started a little Telegram group called Sky Phenomena. Let me just. Only problem is that if I share the screen, it shares all of my chats as well.
Shouldn't.
Can you take a picture of your screen? Oh no, that will include the chats.
Anyway, let me see if I can share the screen. How do I do share screen?
At the bottom, it should be at the bottom with a little arrow going up.
And if you click on it, it'll show you all the windows that are open, and you choose one.
Can you see my screen?
We can, yes, yes.
So these are.
Oh, there's the witch on the broom.
Yeah. This little guy looks like a rocking horse dragon, like like a training dragon. I don't know what that was there.
Wow.
And you saw this woman, hey? Did you guys see this woman?
Yes, that was amazing. Yes.
She looks exactly like a picture that I'd posted in the group of Kuan Yin riding her dragon. So this dragon down here is not clear in this picture, but it's very clear in some of the others.
Wow.
And the sky was so unbelievably spectacular. You can't even describe it. It was like this marbled, you know, being. So, and there's something else.
When I look at that, it feels interdimensional for me, Amanda. It's like it's our sky and we're seeing it there, but it's as though we're looking through a window into another dimension. That's how that feels to me.
Yeah, and they were all different
Phenomenal.
colors. There was like these sort of grayish blue beings and other, you know, other levels that was there. So here she is again, very clear on her dragon. And then there's these, I don't know what this creature is here. This also looks like a face. And then this blue thing here was also very interesting.
Feels to me like and looks, my screen is very small, but looks like like an eagle, but not quite with. I need to look at that more closely on my laptop when I've got power again.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to
Wow.
see. I'm gonna try and find a few others to show you. I didn't put them all here, but this little guy here, see there? He was long,
Yes.
hey? He was long. I mean,
Yeah.
it took up, this is only a part of him, but this little face with the ears and
It's
the
gorgeous.
like
Eyes.
That was
Like
gorgeous.
a lamb. It looks like a
like
lamb.
a
to me.
lamb, like a,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, I'm just trying to find out, I'll just show you a couple of others. So this was like a dolphin.
Wow.
Yes, that was amazing. Yeah.
And this was
Are
a
these
very,
all photos you took?
yeah, from my house, just into the sky, just from where I am
Incredible.
now in the last couple of weeks. So this is another dragon. So this one looks a bit
Yeah.
like a seahorse. So for me, that's the eye, the nose, the mouth, and it goes into this big S like that.
Stunning.
Not so easy, like I say, to see every part of it. This is also dragon face. Eyes, there's the nose,
Wow.
there's the ears, and that's the neck.
Mm.
Can you guys see that?
Yes,
Yes,
yes. I
clearly.
can see it, yes.
So there's, yeah. Just trying to see if I can look at this one. How's that for a dragon hiding behind a cloud? Trying to
Yeah.
pretend not to be a dragon like it's really obvious.
And is that Albert Einstein just below him to the left?
Where?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you mean down here?
Yeah, there. It looks so
Okay.
clear to me, like a face.
So that guy, that's for me the dragon there, very clearly.
Yeah.
Hiding behind this cloud. And it looks like if you compare it to these kinds of faces, you know, there's a little person on top of a dragon's head. But now this was somebody else's in our group's picture on the same day after I sent that dragon in the sky. This is
What?
this eye, here, nose,
Mm.
mouth.
That's very leonine to me. I
It
mean,
is,
those
hey?
eyes and the mouth, very.
Mm.
It takes up the whole sky. And then
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's anything in this one. I think here's
Very
a dragon.
piercing eyes, that
Here's
one.
an eye, a nose,
Wow.
mouth. So coming down. And then this one I sent these
Phenomenal.
into Gene Decode, and he said that's definitely an ionized ship.
Yes.
So that was flying past.
We've been, a friend of mine who lives further north here in Portugal has been seeing a huge amount of cloaked craft over the
really?
last 3 or 4 days. And it's so clear. They're very similar to ones that I had following me when I was living in the Cape in 2018.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyway,
at
I
that.
just wanted to share those with you guys. I'm not sure how to unshare my screen again, but let me just try.
If you move
Oh,
towards
there, stop
the,
share.
yeah, stop share.
Anyway, so I've got lots of those. I just thought they were kind of beautiful.
Phenomenal.
Different,
Yes.
different kinds of
Thank you.
beings in the sky.
Mm. It's wonderful.
Lovely.
All right, guys. So should we bring our little gathering of ourselves to a close? Are you guys ready to close?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So does anyone want to just suggest a closing? Just anything in particular that's coming to mind for a closing? Would anyone like to sing us out?
There we go,
drum?
Bridget.
Or drum us
Bridget would
out or
love-
something?
That would be beautiful.
If you feel like it, there's no pressure.
Okay.
Oh,
That was gorgeous.
that was
Wow.
a hit to the heart.
Yes.
Oh,
look.
that was so beautiful. Totally transported.
Wow.
Yeah.
Next time you can take us in meditative state with that.
Absolutely. We're going to be calling on you up front. Maybe you'd be interested in
Wonderful.
maybe you'd be interested in helping, like maybe one of our next gatherings must be maybe you and Leonie can lead us on a little vocal sound journey, something or other,
That would be nice.
with whoever feels like joining in for fun,
Beautiful. Yeah, that was really beautiful.
It was
And
magical.
so familiar, Bridget, very similar to
Yes.
the way I sing and bring the sound vibration in. So that was, kind of freaky.
Beautiful.
Yes, lovely.
So we're going to thank the beings that have been with us today, Saint Germain and the flame, the alchemist's flame, the alchemical work that has been done on the planet, the ultraviolets, the dragons, the Galactic Center, the Earth, and all of us. The work and all of the people that will watch this in our group, and anyone else that feels drawn to listen and participate in this little journey that we've offered. We love you, and we thank you for being with us, and we let you go for now to do your creations, and may the next aspect of this year, the next season that comes in, be made up of all this alchemy that we've participated in today.
Yes.
So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bridget. Good to
Bridget,
meet you. Lovely
Diane.
to see you, Leonie.
Yes, likewise. So beautiful. Thank you for our
Mm.
co-creation. Always a joyful thing to do.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks very much, beautiful alchemists, dragon alchemists. Bye, everybody.
Lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye.
Lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.